Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Finish Awesome Friday. Again today brought from the Jeffrey household due to limited time this week to actually get the video done there. So, no different in terms of the information produced though. So today we want to talk about auto-regulation in terms of how to be used in nutrition, okay? So as I say, auto-regulation just literally means that every day obviously is different. Our psychological and physiological needs are different each day in terms of the amount of foods and then all the foods we want to eat, how we look at food and how what sort of temptations are there through the day. So every day is a little different. So every day should be treated completely differently. But the sort of nutritional scope of things, how you perform your diet, should be looked at much larger chunks, okay, rather than just every day. So we'll start off right from the main thing. So the two main factors that are going to influence and change how we eat and what we eat and how much we eat obviously come down to two factors. The two factors being hunger, okay, how hungry you are. So obviously some days you'll wake up and you'll be ravenous and you'll just want to eat as much as possibly you can. If you train frequently, which you should be, I recommend to be doing that, then obviously you'll find normally days you train or days after you train, depending on what your sort of metabolic type is, you will be very hungry and want to be eating a lot of food. So those days you should take advantage of that, because that is your body obviously wanting nutrients, wanting those calories into the body. In other days you don't feel as hungry, or you could, the other sense, I mean, some people might say, oh, I'm hungry all the time. I know I am personally, but that's just, that is just how it is. Your body's burning a lot of calories and you're used to eating a lot of food. So sometimes you just have to say, well, I'm not actually ravenous, I'm not that hungry. I could go through the day with having less calories and instead replace it with some snacks or something else and not have bigger meals and keep my calories at a lower end some days. So hunger will play into effect. The other thing is events. So it could be a big event, it could be a birthday party, it could be a wedding, it could be a holiday, something like that that's going to obviously cause issues in terms of keeping your calories under control. Okay, so what I always say to people is don't try and control your calories when you're in those situations. Just take advantage of it. Now you can still track, you can still do other things, but generally speaking, those days might be a bit of a blowout and everything else from there. But if you can control it and you can track it, there are some days that obviously aren't massive events. Okay, so the big events are kind of on their own, but then you've got other events like going out with the family and then maybe stopping off at a restaurant instead of having lunch at home, and maybe going out with the spouse for a meal, or maybe just on a whim buying a piece of cake from a brasserie, rather than sitting there and moaning, oh no, I can't have that, it's cake. You can sit there and enjoy it with your family, but you have to be accountable and track it and go through from those things. So those sort of diversions, those events, they are things that you can still track and control and make sure they fit within the realms of your auto-regulation. Okay, the great thing about auto-regulation is it is literally that free. It's we're not talking about if it fits your macros, we're not talking about paleo, we're talking about everything in between that, and trying to make sure you get a balanced, nutritious diet with whole foods, but have the freedom to have some cake and have some treats when the opportunities come around. Okay, so those are the two main factors that are going to play into where you're going to auto-regulate and how you're going to auto-regulate. So looking at auto-regulation, obviously auto-regulation in training, you're looking at changing the volume or the intensity of a session to fit your physical and psychological need. Okay, so on days you feel rubbish, on days you feel tired, on days you feel you're not going to hit your max, auto-regulation should allow you to find where that max that day is, whether it's whatever it's going to fall. And on days you feel really good and the days you can smash it, then obviously once again auto-regulation allows you to lift up some volume, maybe go a bit higher in intensity than you normally would, and try and take advantage of those good days, because they don't come around as often as you get a bit older. That they get less and less. So those days that you feel good, you want to take advantage of them and push yourself as hard as you can. So that's what auto-regulation does in terms of training. So your volume and intensity changes. In nutrition, all that happens is we just change that from volume and intensity to calories and macros. Okay, this is starting to get a bit of a drubbing in the industry. Not that you need to worry about this, but basically people are starting to attack this all of a sudden. But you can't deny the fact that the amount of calories you consume versus the calories you burn is going to determine your body weight. Okay, and what those macros are made up with, secondly, as important as the calories from there, will determine how your body composition will then look, what amount of muscle to body fat you'll have, how strong you'll get, and all the performance indicators from there. Okay, how healthy you'll actually be. The macros will play into consideration from that. Okay, the better quality macros you can get, then the better your health markers will be. Okay, don't think that just because a piece of bread and say a potato would have the same calorie content or carbs or whatever you want to go with, whatever you want to use as your example, it's always better to go with the real food, the food that you could pluck from the ground or has a mother. Okay, that's real food, and that's food that you should be consuming rather than processed products. But those two elements are just the main important areas. If you control those two things, you'll control your weight, and that's where the auto regulation can change. Each day, you'll obviously factor in each day as it comes, okay? So how you will then master that within your regulation. The efficient nutrition system that I'm just working on right now is going out to all my everyday athletes, anyone that sort of PTs with me, anyone that works in the classes that I do. I will be sending them a free copy of this because I want people to start using it, to start reporting back on it, start giving me some feedback on how it works. If you're interested in joining in and having a go at it, then obviously just send me a message or an email and I'll happily send you a copy as well. But I only want people that are actually going to put forward and actually do it. I don't want people to be doing this sort of nutritional protocol that aren't going to put the effort in, because it's not another fad, it's not another sort of throwaway thing, it's not a diet really, it's just a way of controlling your calories through the week. So the idea of how it works, you're working to weekly calorie goals rather than working to a daily calorie goal, okay? The idea of it is actually, I think that's a waste of time. You know, having say, 2,000 calories a day, some days you're going to want to eat more than 2,000 calories. Some days, you could eat less than 2,000 calories. So there needs to be a way to auto-regulate and change the factor of each day. The days you feel good, then you go for it. Days you slip up, you have, a bit too much some days. So it normally happens at the weekend with me. Auto-regulation should allow you to change your calories, do a daily calorie intake to still fit a total calorie goal for the week, okay, and still get the changes that you need, okay, and utilizing other tools, we make sure that's happening, okay. So this is a quick example, but this is how auto-regulation can really work. So day one, I normally start my first day as a Saturday. I just make that the day because I know at the weekends I'm generally going to be eating more calories, or I'm going to slip up a few times more because there's more opportunity to, and as much as we want to pretend we're perfect, it's just not going to happen, okay. And especially in the summertime when barbecues and beers are plentiful, it gets very hard. And in the winter, it doesn't change much. It turns into cake and biscuits or whatever it is your comfort food might be. Becomes much easier to get through at the weekend. So you might have a really bad day on the first day. You eat well over your average amount. Okay, so let's say that at the average, I want to make sure we're getting 2,000 calories a day in on average. And if I do that, then I hit my calorie target. So if I go bad one day, the next day I hit my calorie target. Okay, and then so day three, probably a Monday, I'm feeling a bit bloated and a bit, beat up over the weekend. I think actually I don't really need to eat that much today. I can have a couple of protein shakes instead and just get through the day. I have my calories a bit lower, have a lighter dinner in the evening. So those calories were under. And then the next day I hit the average. And then the next day I went a bit over. I might have decided to have some pasta for dinner and think, well, I'm just going to, have a bit more pasta than, maybe I should, but I'll put it over. But that's okay, because the next day I'll eat a little less, okay? And then I'll go on the average from there. So you see, the averages work out. I still get to my average amount through the week, which is my 2,000 calories a day, but I don't have to just hit this number every day. It's not going to make any difference to my body. Some days I have a bit less, some days I have a bit more, but generally speaking, I'm hitting around that weekly target. And over the weeks, if I use tools like weighing myself and pictures and measurements and anything else that I want to use, I can start seeing, as long as the weighing scales are doing what I want them to do, either going down if I want to lose weight, maintaining if I want to maintain my weight, or increasing if I want to build some muscle and strength, then that is what I will be checking up on and making sure it's happening. If it's not happening, I need to raise, lower, or change my macros, or, raise or lower the calories, or change my macros to suit and try and fit that goal and find out what my personal preferences are in terms of getting the right results. Okay, guys, everyone's different. So what works for me might not work for you, might not work for the next person. We're all different makeups, we're all different body types, we're all different backgrounds, we're all different, nutritional sort of tendencies and things that have changed our makeup of our bodies, and our hormones and everything else are different as well. So that's always going to change. It's never going to be the same thing. It's never going to be a hard and fast rule, but that will give you a general idea of how the efficient nutrition system works. Okay, guys? So if you're interested in it, okay, as I say, all my athletes will be getting a free copy over the next couple of weeks. I'm just trying to finish it all off and get it in a written form that people understand and can start using from this day. And then if you're interested out there, email me, message me, let me know, and I'll send you a free copy and you can have a little go yourself and just report back. As long as you report back to me and tell me how it's gone and how it works and how you feel it's different from anything else, and that's what I need. I need feedback, I need people to be accountable, and I need people to actually do it. Okay, guys? Hope you have a great weekend, guys. Just be awesome. I'll see you back on Monday. Catch you later. See you later, guys.